You know what I really love seeing? I really love seeing former Muslims sharing why they are no longer a Muslim and the fact that they turn to Christianity. They turn to Christ because Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. Islam is, as I've said many, many times, it's a horrible death cult. The religion of Islam is not good, especially when you study it and you look at the teachings of the Quran, of the Hadiths, of all these things, you understand and realize that it's quite horrible. And when people follow the Quran literally, they follow the Hadiths literally, you end up with terrorists. You end up with Islamic extremists. You end up with imams that end up teaching and saying things like, you must go out there and kill Christians and Jews because Muhammad says that you must do it. You end up with attacks left, right, and center. It's not good. So whenever I see a ex-Muslim, which it's not good for someone to come out and say that they're ex-Muslim because, hey, you're not allowed to leave the religion of Islam. Once you're in the death cult, man, you're in the death cult for life. And if you convert or if you start speaking out against the religion of Islam, hey, we're going to come after you and you're not going to be alive. So I pray for this young man because what he is doing is quite bold. It's very, very bold, in fact. It's brave to come out and say that I was a former Muslim. I grew up in a Turkish Muslim family. I went to Islamic school. I studied all these things and I left. I can't imagine that his life would have been easy after he left. Can you? But here is this young man, Enes, I think his name is, Enes Avat, over on Instagram. I saw the video this morning, and it's not the full video. It's about 3 minutes worth, but he goes 5 reasons why he left Islam. And I think it's important for you guys to actually see it too. So have a watch of this.
Here is 5 reasons why I am no longer a Muslim. Now, I was born and raised Muslim in Melbourne, Australia by Turkish parents. I went to a Turkish Muslim school and I also learned Quran and Arabic in Saturday classes when I was younger. Throughout my whole life, I was fed this narrative that the Quran was always preserved, there's nothing changed in it, it's letter for letter, dot for dot, perfect, and no one has ever changed it, and there's only one Quran. Little did I know about Uthman, who was the third caliphate, burning a lot of the copies of the Quran, and he was the one that actually standardized the Quran that Muslims read today. And a lot of the Muslims that read the Quran today read the Hafs version, but there's also the Khalaf, the Duri, and so many other different versions that have different recitations from the Hafs version of the Quran. But they don't tell you that because it will cause a lot of doubt and questioning Islam. Everyone in the community would just frown upon you and pretty much think you've apostated. And I always thought that the Quran mentions that previous scriptures are corrupted and the Quran was seen as God's final revelation to fix everything and preserve God's message. But little did I know, or little did what the sheikhs and the imams tell me, is that the Quran actually never mentions the previous scriptures are corrupted. It actually says the opposite. It confirms it. And it also tells Muhammad, if he's ever in doubt, to go back to the previous scriptures to confirm what the Quran is saying. And my whole life growing up in a Muslim school, I was never taught what kind of heaven Muslims will receive. And the kind of heaven we receive is 72 virgins filled with alcohol. And it just seemed so off, like as if our whole purpose in life is to gain women for eternity. It just seems like a brothel or a strip club. It's just not holy at all. The first time I found out that Muhammad married a child was actually very late on in my life. I was around 20 years old, this was during lockdown, and my brother actually told me that Muhammad married a 6-year-old, and I didn't know how to reconcile that. What they told me was, oh, because Allah chose her, because she did narrate a lot of the hadiths, and also that time it was normal, and it just excuses that I couldn't reconcile. It's like, how can Muhammad be an all-time role model when he married a child? It just doesn't make sense. And he also married 11 wives at one time. The Quran says you can only have 4. And also I was fed this narrative that Islam is a religion of peace. But it's not really the case when you read the text in Quran chapter 9, which is seen as the last revelation of the Quran. So they kill and are killed. This is the true promise upon him in the Torah and the Gospel. So how can this be a religion of peace if one of the last chapters revealed in the Quran is the most violent chapter in the whole book?
When you have a religion, first and foremost, he made some great points. So if you're just looking at the religion itself, right, and they're saying that you cannot question us, you can't have any doubt whatsoever, because that's apostasy. You can't be an apostate. That is considered to be horrible in the religion of Islam, and then it is punishable by death. Usually, you get punished in the religion for questioning the religion. I don't know about you, but if a religion says that you cannot question it, does that make you actually want to be part of the religion? Hey, if you have any doubt or reservation whatsoever about a verse here and there, and you go to an imam and you ask the imam, hey, what was Muhammad thinking about this? What was he doing? And the imam goes, you can't question the Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet Muhammad, everything that he says is gospel, man. How dare you? May Allah curse you. Kind of mentality. Allah demands worship, by the way. That's another element of the religion. A key element, right? You can't question it on fear of death. And secondly, Allah demands your worship. God doesn't demand worship at all. God gave his son. What did Allah do? Nothing. Allah demands that you sacrifice yourself. You blow yourself up. And apparently when you go to heaven or go to eternity, you get all of these virgins. It's like Allah is some sick, twisted PDF file, as well as he is obsessed with sexual intercourse. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like God at all. Sounds more like the devil, if you ask me. He's having a party down in hell. Hey, come with me down to hell. We're going to have all the sexual immoralities that we can possibly think of. And all you have to do is blow yourself up. Yeah, right. Sounds like a religion that I want to follow. No, it's a death cult, guys. That's the fundamentals of this religion. Oh, and like he mentioned, the Huth, I think his name is, decided to burn all the other versions of the Quran. They're basically gone. There's heaps of versions, and he's gone, you know what? I can't stand any of these other ones. Burn the rest, and we're going to have this one in particular. And you know what? There'll be different interpretations, but they're my interpretations, right? And as such, if anyone questions my interpretations, it's apostasy. It's like how to make a religion 101. Don't question. If anyone questions, kill them. How dare they question you or your religion? Like, by the way, there's so many contradictions just in the Quran in general. Other scriptures have been corrupted, as this young man was talking about as well. So if you are a young man and you're searching and there's so many contradictions, you can't question those contradictions. And yet you just got to go, oh, I've got to throw myself blindly into this and hope for the best. What do you think a young person is going to do with all that? Just follow me blindly, guys. I demand your worship. It's ridiculous. Oh, by the way, you got to pray 5 times a day. You got to study the book. You've got to implement Sharia law. The way you treat women is absolutely disgusting and horrible. You're not equal one bit. You're not a human being. You can't eat bacon. You got all these rules and regulations to follow. I mean, my goodness me. Does that sound like something you really want to follow? No. Whereas Jesus in the Bible says, come to me. All ye are heavy, heavy burden or heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Islam, it seems like it's just putting things upon your shoulder and going, pushing it down. Whereas God, like that, lifts you up. You're at peace, knowing that your soul is saved. God's got you in his hand, and nothing can remove you. And I think that's what this young man realized as well. Oh, not to mention the fact that Muhammad was a warlord. He decided to kill however many people he wanted to in one night alone. He married like 11 people, not to mention like when the Quran says you're not allowed to marry 4. So he went against that. And he's also married Aisha at the age of 6 and then raped her at 9. And they say that it's okay. How about that, man? I don't see in the Bible that incest or raping young kids is acceptable, or marrying a cousin is acceptable in here. I mean, sure, David did it. Doesn't mean that God said that it was right. Sure, he had multiple wives, but look what happened to him. More wives, more problems. Look what happened to Solomon. In the end, he said, vanity, all vanity, vanities of vanities. So God's going to let you do, because he gave us free will. He may intervene from time to time because he's God. He can do whatever he wants. And at the end of the day, he'll give you the desires of your heart, if that is to live like the world, to consistently sin. But you're going to end up feeling really miserable and lost. And that's when God says, come back to me. I will give you rest. You've gone too far away. Come back to me. I've always been here. You're still my child. Like a shepherd, I will go after you. I'll bring you back. But usually you have to reach rock bottom. It's like the prodigal son. That's like a picture perfect example of Jesus. Opens up his arms, creates a banquet, because the Father goes after those who are lost. And people that are in the religion of Islam and every other religion, they're lost. They're lost and they need saving. And only Jesus is able to save. And it's our job and our responsibility, if we call ourselves Christians, to witness, to share the gospel to those that are lost. The truth saves, my friends. It doesn't subdue. It doesn't hold you down. It releases you. You are free. And one day you get to live with God. You get to feast in heaven. You get to worship God, the one that saved you. So I love seeing, in closing, I love seeing former Muslims come out and say, I was wrong. I lived, this is a lie. I saw the light. I'm now part of the religion. Well, now I'm no longer part of the religion of Islam, and I'm now part of the family of Christ. That's what it is. It's loving. When you have Muhammad that says, kill, deceive, lie, steal, God says, do not kill, do not lie, do not steal. Love no other God before me. He said it. Time we start believing it, isn't it? That's enough from me. You guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.